Morning if you just joined, so we're lying in Supta Sukhasana, less dominant leg in front and less dominant arm on top, above the head. If this creates a big arch in your lumbar, then you could prop your forearms up with a block. Try to have the kidneys, the back ribs resting towards the floor. So as I mentioned in my email to you, we'll focus on kind of a more restorative element over this course, given the nature of the season, moving into, well, it's usually a busy time. Let's see how Christmas goes. But just something that might be a little bit more restorative, less demanding. At any point in the practice, if it's asking a little too much of you, take a break if you need to. Respect what your body needs. I'll try and temper it, so it is a bit of a challenge, but nothing too challenging. Now placing the tongue gently against the upper palate as you relax the jaw. Soften around the eyes, eyelids. Soften the forehead, let the skin of the forehead soften. And with the tongue in position, just start to breathe into the belly. Some gentle belly breathing. As you inhale, fill the space below the navel, to the sides of the navel, or maybe above the navel. As you're breathing quietly, gently into the belly, I want you to visualize a bright golden sun just right in front of your face, like you're lying on the beach in a sunny climate. Feel that bright golden sunshine beaming into your face. Bring a smile to the corners of your lips, a smile to your eyes. Smiling sunshine beaming into your face. Penetrating the brain, the glands in the brain. The master gland, pituitary gland in the forehead. Hypothalamus in the center of the head, and the pineal gland, or the pineal gland, depending, towards the back of the brain. Invite that golden sunshine to spread down the spinal cord, embracing, encasing each of the organs as you move down the spinal cords, the heart, the lungs, and the chest cavity, the kidneys close to the back of the ribs, the liver on the right, stomach, spleen on the left, and the intestines between them. Bladder below the navel, sexual organs below the bladder. Filling the entire inner body with that bright golden sunshine, smiling down into the organs, that warmth, comforting heat internally. As you just slowly change the cross of the legs, and then we're going to join the palms together. And as you bring your palms together, you're going to bring the base of your thumb to the center of your forehead. And there's a slight pressure with the base of your thumb downwards towards the nose. So I've got my palms in prayer, and they're right on top of my forehead. And the base of the thumb is drawing the skin of the forehead slightly downwards. So there's a little pressure with the hands on the forehead. The elbows are roughly over the armpits. Don't let them fall out too far to the side or drop in towards each other. Right over the armpits, it keeps the upper arm relaxing down. As you just pay attention to that pressure on the forehead, smiling into the brain, smiling into your glands in the brain. It's also a gesture to the higher self. Ajna chakra, the chakra of the intuitive self, the center of the forehead. And then as you just slowly drag the base of the thumbs down the forehead and towards the nose, so you're going to start to come off the forehead, but it's a downward movement, slowly. And then as the hands come free, you're going to bring the arms straight in front, above your chest, and let your eyes slowly open. So the palms are like a steeple above the chest. You take a breath in, and then we're going to lift the head and shoulders as you exhale. You're going to reach forward between the groins, between the knees. As you press the kidneys into the floor, press the lumbar down, and now breathe consciously. Mouth closed, in and out through the nose. Keep pushing down as you exhale into the kidneys, lumbar. Reaching forward. A couple more breaths. And inhale slowly with the head and shoulders back to the floor. You can bend the knees, bring the knees in towards the chest, interlace the fingers around the top of the shin. And take a breath in on the exhale, you're going to lift the head and shoulders again. And curl the hairline towards the navel as you draw the knees in towards the ribs. Keep the shoulders relaxed. Keep the face passive, still that sunshine smiling from your eyes, from your brain, from your spine. And the head comes down. Hands to the back of the knee, just a couple of rolls forward and back. Next time you roll, come up. We're going to sit on your heels. So I'd like you to try to sit with your ankles touching, as opposed to letting your heels fall out to the side. So you're right on the top of the foot. The tops of the feet pointing straight back. And if you let your palms, the back of the wrist rest on the top of the thigh, and just go through some of the rotations. So head forward gently and then take it around to the right. Keep looking to sit down into the heels with the weight of the hip, keeping the shoulders relaxed. Pausing in the middle and changing direction. Pausing in the middle. Now you're going to take your chin forward, back and in. So it's called turtleneck. Forward, back and in. So you feel there's a pull on the base of the skull as you bring the head back. And then you go the other way, so you take the chin forward, down and in. And then pause. Now take the head to the left and look over the left shoulder, but keep the right shoulder facing forward. And take your eyes back and down. And then lengthen the base of the skull up at the same time. You feel a pull on that left side of the skull. And relax the eyes as you bring the head across to the other side. Keep that left shoulder facing forward. Take the eyes back and down, base of the skull up. Feel the pull on that right side. And then relax the eyes, bring the head back to center. So we're going to lift the shoulders up, back and down, so rolling from the collarbones. There's a slight pressure down into the back of the wrist as you lift the shoulder up. Then we're going to turn the palms down and go the other way. Focus on the shoulder blades. And pause. Now you're going to lift and drop. Lift the shoulder up to the ear and drop. Let the elbow bend out wide. One more. Now, palms together, interlace, rolling on the wrist. Change the direction. And then release. Now, you can stay like this if you're going to find the next part really uncomfortable, but if you can, you curl your toes under and sit on the heels. So we normally do this with the knees wide, but we're going to be here for just a little bit, so this is a little more accessible. So try to sit into the hip, so the toe, all the toe knuckles are taking weight. And then you're going to make a fist, and you place your thumb just over the middle finger. Yeah, just over the middle finger. And then bring the fist to the hip. So we'll just do it's a basic shoulder movement. So you're going to push like you're punching out, and then you're going to bend your wrist so your knuckles face each other. Bend your wrist so your knuckles face each other. Yeah, and then you're going to pull out. And then you're going to turn the back of the wrist forward. Keep the wrist bent. Yeah. And then bring the back of the wrist together. Then you're going to turn the knuckles back up so the thumb's facing the ceiling. And then you pull in. So I'm just doing it slow before we bring in a bit of rhythm. So you punch out. Bend the wrist so the knuckles face each other. Keep the wrist bent as you take the arms out. Turn from the back of the wrist forward so the upper arm rolls, yeah, and then back again. Turn, knuckles up, thumb up, and then back. Okay, so we're going out, bend, knuckles face each other, out, turn, back in. Turn the knuckles up and back to the waist. Good. Now we're going to go back, so let's keep that same action in the fist. You're going to go back, turn from the wrist, and forward. Turn the knuckle up, back, out. Keep the wrist bent as the backs of the wrist come together. Turn them up, and then back. So you can inhale as the arms go out, pause as you turn the wrist up, thumb up, exhale as you pull in. Inhale. Exhale. Now we're going to combine the two. So if you remember the first one, you're going to go forward, bend, out, turn, back in. Turn, back, then we go behind. One, turn, back in, then we go forward. So punch out, bend at the wrist, knuckles face each other, out, turn, forward, turn up, back in. We go behind. Turn, back in. So it's really only two movements, forward and back. Forward, out, turn, back of the wrist together, turn, back, one more time, behind, together, turn, and back to the fist. Well done. hands down. So we'll do that a few times, you get used to it. It just takes a few repetitions. So lift the heels forward of the sit bone, so your knees are going to come up high, higher than your hips. Ankles still together, feet together. And we press down firmly into the feet, lifting the hips up, keep the heels up, and then bend the knees again. So as you bend your knees, sit back on the heels, keep them forward of the sit bones. Push down to come up. Keep the heels up, bend the knees again, sit down. So do 3 more like that. Use the shin to the foot. Push down from the shin to the foot to lift up. Straighten the leg, and then bend it. Inhale, lift. Exhale. Inhale, lift. Good way to stress the toes, the feet, the shins. Inhale, lift. Next time you come up, stay up. Keep the ankles lifted, or the heels rather. Ankles together. Work the shin, press it back. And then slowly lower the heels, feet together. Just place your hands on your shins. Straighten your arms, lengthen your spine forward. So your spine's parallel to the floor. Bring the weight of the hips slightly forward. Firm the thigh muscles above the knees. Palms together at the chest. Press the feet down to come up. Standing with your feet, heels together, big toes apart. Good fist distance between your toes. Okay, so they're not together, they're turned out. The heels are touching them. I need to move my camera back a bit. Even more. Okay, so with the heels together, toes turned out. How's that? Okay. You're going to place the hands below the navel. Ladies, right hand first, gents the left. Take your breath in. As you exhale, we bend the knee. So now you have to work the shin bone. So the top of the shin has to work back and into the heel. At first you just feel the knees go forward, but you've got to work by pressing the center of the heel down and then activating the shin back, slightly back, and the heel down. So there's no stress in the knee. The shin will take your weight all day long. We're going to make a ball with the hand. So it's a vertical ball. The left hand comes on top. It's just in line with your collarbones. The right hand's just below the navel where it was. So it's like you're holding a big beach ball between your hands. Left hand up, a little higher K with your left hand. In line with your collarbones. The elbows lifted, don't let it drop. That's better. Now let your palms curl a little bit like you're literally holding a ball in your hands. Keep that shape as you change hands. So inhale, I'm holding the ball as I turn the hands the other way. Exhale. And I inhale, so keep the shape like you're turning a ball in your palms. And exhale. Inhaling. Exhaling. Relax down on the feet. Inhaling. And exhale. Sink down. Couple more. Inhale. Hold the ball as you exhale. One more set. Inhale. Exhale. So you don't have the top hand too high. It should be in line with your collarbones. Inhale. Hold it as you exhale. Small ball below your navel. Exhale. Sink into the back of the knee. One more breath. Inhale. Arms down as you slowly straighten the legs. Exhale. It's a good way to stress the bones and the blood without having to work too hard. A few different versions of that. And stepping the feet shoulder distance apart, feet parallel. Take the hand on the back of the hip and do hip circles to the right. And then the other direction. Good, relax. Now, from here, make sure your feet are straight and shoulder distance apart as you bend your knees. So as you bend your knees, you want to take a little more weight on the heels. And then there's a screwing action with the knee, like you want to screw the knee slightly out and down. It's the tendons that are activating to get you to stand on your bones. Then hold that ball again below your navel. So it's a similar stance, you just change the foot position. And we're going to start to shift the weight, so take a breath in. As you exhale, shifting the weight towards the right leg. Let that right knee bend a little deeper and sink down into that foot. Shifting across as you inhale. Exhale, let the left knee bend forward more, weight down on that left foot. Inhale to center. Exhale, shift. Some of you look like you're still only hip distance apart. The feet should be at least shoulder distance, if not a little wider. Inhale to the center. Exhale to the left. Feel the weight sink onto the foot. The foot feels like it's spreading, it's getting heavier on the floor. Inhale, center. Exhale to the right. Make sure the knee tracks straight ahead, doesn't pull inwards. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Inhale, center. One more time, exhale, right. Now pause on the right side as you bring the palms together. Base of the thumb at the heart. Raising that left heel. Then the foot, take it above the knee. Standing leg is bent now, so you're still bending into that left knee. Right ankles, or right knee, sorry, your right knee. That left ankle is just above the knee. Keep the shoulders over the hips, gaze straight ahead. Try to relax on the standing foot and work the shin bone towards the heel. And slowly stepping out. So make sure the foot steps out shoulder distance. Shift your weight back to the center. Both feet taking weight as you shift towards the left. Taking more weight on the left, more weight on the left as you slowly lift the heel. And then slowly lift the foot. Keep the left knee bent. Bend from the back of the left knee, so you want to feel like you're actually sinking down as well. Shoulders over the hips. Working that left shin, top of the left shin towards the heel. Base of the skull lengthening up. Weight sinking down. Then exhale fully. Stepping out slowly. You come back to that first position as you hold the ball below the navel. Feet straight and parallel. Try to keep the weight down. The elbows are wide. Don't have them in like this. They should be out here. Palms pressed down, exhale. Palms to the eyes. Inhale, keep your weight on your feet. Turn the wrist, push out, exhale. Draw in, inhale. And down, exhale. Again, to the eyes. Try to Not to grip the thighs. Relax on the bones of the legs. Draw in. And down. Slowly straighten the legs. Turning the feet, keeping them at least shoulder distance, just turn them out slightly. You come back to that fist at your hip. Just realize my microphone's not on. Hope you can hear me better now. Okay, fist at the hip. It's a squat. So you're gonna, as you come down, you punch. So remember the turn in the wrist. You're gonna turn the knuckles down as you squat, turn them up, and then inhale to pull up. So knuckles facing upwards, inhale. Slowly as you punch, turn the wrist and squat down, exhale. Turn the wrist, empty. Push down to come up. Inhale, draw the fists in. Turn the wrist, exhale, just punch straight ahead. Turn the wrist, empty. Inhale, pull in as you push down through the legs. Exhale, turn and punch. Empty. Inhale. Exhale. Try to coordinate, bending the elbows. Bending the knees, straightening the elbows. Bending the elbows, straighten the knees. Exhale. Empty. Inhale. One more. Exhale. Empty. Inhale. Palms face the floor. Exhale. Straighten the arms. Palms face forward, arms out, inhale. Hold the breath. Relax the feet on the floor as you exhale down midline. Inhale. And exhale. Good, now we're going to go into a warrior position, but before we do, we did this last week, I think you were here, most of you. So we'll just do it with the feet parallel, because I'm going to take you to the side and step back into warrior, but we need to work with the arms first. So just have your feet parallel like you had them, knees bend, screw the knee out and down, so you lock into the lower limbs. And then we're going to bring the palms up in front. It's like, just imagine there's a big tree in front of you and you want to hug it. So you're hugging the tree, the palms face the chest, the middle fingers face each other, the elbows are bent out to the side. Don't be too close to your chest like this. It's a big tree trunk, yeah, that you're wrapped around. Good, now that's the arm position, but we're going to change the leg position in a moment. So just pause here. This is called embrace the tree. So feel like you're holding onto a big tree trunk, but you're soft about it. Relax the tension in the shoulders and the neck. Let the weight sink onto the feet, but keep the knee screwing slightly out and down towards the heels. The kidneys feel like they're moving back towards the skin. The sternum is slightly dropped. So in other words, I'm not trying to stand totally upright like this. There is a slight rounding of the back. So this is full. Okay, take a few more breaths there. Try to relax any gripping in the muscles of the shoulders or the legs. There's a turn from the wrist, so turn your thumbs out, little fingers up. It activates the tendons in the arms, the wrists and the elbows. you're going to bring the hands in slowly. And as you straighten the arms down, straighten your legs. So that's a stance that can be held for a long time, even up to an hour. You build up to it really, really slowly. But even just 5-10 breaths is useful. So now we're going to do the same movement with the arms, but you're going to do it from a warrior position. So come and stand at the top of your mat. Have your feet the width of your mat. So it's going to be a wide on the horizontal plane. So now, we'll start with that same position. So bend the knees. Screw the knee out and down. The back waist should fill up. As you bring the arms in front, turn the thumbs out, little fingers up. Embrace the tree trunk. Weight on the feet. Now from here, you shift your weight to your left leg and you take a giant step back with your right foot. Take the heel to the floor. Draw that hip forward to face the front. The knee bends right over the arch. So you're in the warrior stance. While embracing the tree in the warrior. Keep pressing into that back thigh. Press the right thigh back, right heel down. And drag the back of the left knee forward. Slow, steady breaths. Relax the jaw. Keep the face passive. Try to take a little deeper into the back of the front knee, but stretch back into the back heel simultaneously. Back leg is firm. One more breath. Now to come out, you're going to bring your hands towards the trunk. Straighten your front leg. Relax the arms down. And then step the back foot forward. Start with the feet the width of the mat, parallel to each other. We'll do the other side. Starting with the bending the knees, screw the knee out and down, raise the arms, back to holding the trunk, turn the thumbs out, little fingers up, keep the elbows up and out. Shift your weight slowly to the right leg, big step back with the left foot, turn the heel in, but bring the hip forward. So try to have your pelvis in neutral, facing forward. Slight lift in the pubic bone. Rounding that back heel. Draw the left hip forward as you bend deep into the back of the right knee. Kidneys are full. The more you press into the back heel, press the left thigh back, the more you can bend into the front knee. Relax the jaw and the face, couple more breaths. Relax any grip in the shoulders. And slowly inhale, bring the hands towards you. Exhale, release the arms as you straighten the front leg. Step the back foot forward. Relax the arms by your sides, relax on the feet. Take a big step back so you can face the long side of your mat. Legs wide, hands on the hips. Prasarita Padottanasana, press down through the out little toe side of the feet. Draw up on the muscles above the knees, legs firm. Inhale, hinging from the hip as you exhale. Place the hands on the floor. Shoulder distance apart, push the floor away as you lengthen the spine forward, hips forward, thighs lifted. Inhale. Slowly as you bend, take the hands back, take the hairline down, elbows over the wrists. Keep both legs working strong, so push down through the feet, draw up through the thighs. Exhale all the way to empty. Slowly straighten the arms as you inhale. Now bring your heels in, toes out. You're going to hold on to your ankles. Keep the chest lifted away from the floor. Now we're going to lunge to the left side. So keep the chest lifted as you inhale. Bend into the left knee. As the hip sinks, keep the spine lifting. Look towards the straight leg. Push off that left leg to straighten. Inhale. Bend the right knee. Use the elbow to track the knee slightly out in line with the center of the foot. Sink the hip. Pushing up, inhale to straighten. As you exhale, sink. Try not to drop the chest. Keep it lifted higher than the hips. Inhale to straighten. Exhale to the right. Inhale to straighten. Exhale to the left. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more to the left. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, straighten. Power the legs straight. Exhale to the right. Inhale, straighten. Turn towards the long side of your mat. Exhale, step to plank. So feet hip distance. Stretch your heels back. Push the floor away. Keep the thighs pressing up. The sacrum coming in. Arms straight. Fill the space between the shoulder blades. Every knuckle pressing down. Whole palm on the floor. Slowly drop the knees. Now separate the knees wide on the mat, big toes together. Sit back to the heels. Elbows bend out wide. Bring the head down between the hands. Simple frog. Let the shoulders relax towards the elbows. Soften the skin of the forehead towards your nose. Long, slow exhalations. Fully exhale. Slowly straighten the arms to sit up. You're going to need a little space behind you, so you might want to come towards closer to the front of your mat. So keep your knees wide, sitting with the big toes together. You can sit on the heels if you can sit slightly in front of them, closer to Manjugasta, you can do that. And then sitting shoulders over the hips. So we're going to be moving backwards a little bit. Try to keep your knees on the ground. So for the first position, you can just take your hands back. And so you're opening the tops of the thighs. Keep the hip heavy. And then if you can come on to the elbows. Now make sure the elbows are under your shoulders so you have the ability to press down into the elbows to lift the chest. And then let the chin slowly come back. Try not to collapse between the arms. You have to push down into the elbows, forearms, palms to lift the spine up as the head goes back. If you're not comfortable taking the head back, just look forward. There should be a lift in the chest. The back of the spine moves up into the body. Keep that lift if the head goes back in particular. long, slow exhale all the way below the navel. Inhale from below the navel to the notch of the throat. Keep pushing down into the forearms and elbows. Exhaling fully. Lift the head gently as you inhale. You're going to take the hands back one at a time to where the elbows were. And then push yourself up. So from here we move into Ekapada. So you're going to shift your weight towards the left hip. Roll that right calf out and back. So you're going to sit in front of that, or to the side of that heel if you can. So right leg in Virasana. Keep the knee in line with the hip. Straighten the other leg out. So you might just stay here depending on if you can sit equally on both hips. If you're kind of leaning away from that right hip, you're best sitting upright until this releases down. Otherwise the knee takes a bit of stress. If you're sitting on both hips evenly or thereabouts, you come back onto the elbows. And again, this might be as far as you go. If you got this far and both hips are still on the floor, then you see if you can take your back all the way down. The knee might lift a little bit, that's okay. Better the knee lifts than you get a big arch in your lower back just on that one side. Try to get the kidneys, the back ribs to the floor evenly. And if you're on the back, interlace your fingers and then straighten your arms above your head. So you have a few options here, don't force it. If you need to be up on the elbows, stay on the elbows. If you need to be upright, the main thing is opening the top of the thigh, because that's what's coming in a minute. Something that requires you to have the thigh open. Most of you look like you're close to the floor. So, if you're on the floor and the leg is still straight, then bend that left foot and bend that left knee and place the left foot on the floor. So you want to get a feeling that with the foot on the floor now, you can level the weight across the sacrum, across the back of the hip. And if you're on the ground, you're going to release the arms. So you're going to come back up the way you went down. So straighten the left leg out first. Come back up onto the elbows. Work your way back up onto the hands. Good. Now I'm going to roll away from the bent knee, so to my left. Straighten the leg straight out. Shift my weight to the other side. Bend the knee. Roll the calf out and back. Not just out, but back towards the heel. Keeping that knee in line with the hip. So as you go back, the tendency is the knee starts splaying out to the side. You've got to try and keep it in line with the hip. So either sitting upright or back on the elbows. Keep pressing the shin down into the floor. You got this far, you may need to hang out a little bit before you go all the way down. If you got all the way down, then interlace the fingers, straighten your arms back behind you. Or hang out on your elbows if necessary. And if you're on the back with the arm straight, then you can bend the right knee and place the right foot flat on the floor. It helps you level the weight on the sacrum on the back of the hip. Try to lengthen whatever position you're in, lengthen from the top of the thigh to the knee. It's not about pressing the knee at all, it's working from the thigh itself. So the very top of the thigh bone has to lengthen away from the hip. It's an area that's quite tense for most people from sitting a lot. Long, slow exhalations all the way to empty. Jaw, face relaxed. And then release the arms, those on the back, and back up onto your elbows. Or sorry, straighten the leg first. Back on the elbows. From the elbows back on the hands. Roll to the right, away from the bent knee. Straighten the leg out. Good. Alright, so now, that's just to prepare us to do Setu Bandha on your back. So if you have a brick, fantastic, grab it. If you don't have one, don't worry about it. I'll give you an option. So you're going to lie on your back with your knees bent. Feet hip distance. If you have a brick, just have it handy so you don't have to go looking for it. Now make sure your feet are parallel. And they're close enough that, you know, more or less you probably could touch your heels with your hands. You might have shorter arms, maybe not, but that's fine. I've got really long ones. So now, keeping your feet parallel, I want you to press your lumbar towards the floor for a moment. So feel like you're lengthening your tailbone towards your heels. And then as you press your arms into the floor, start to curl and lift your sacrum off the ground. So you're going to lift the sacrum, the hip, and then start to lift the kidney. So just do it real slow. So you're curling the weight up the spine. The more the hip lifts, the more the upper back will start to lift. Then roll the shoulders slightly under, press into the backs of the arms, back of the shoulder. Now let your elbows bend so your palms face each other across your rib cage. Dig the elbows down, so I'm pressing them down strongly to lift the side chest up. Most important thing is you get your pubic bone as the highest point, and then your sternum, and then your head. Now, you'll have to stay like this if you don't have a brick, which is a little harder. If you have a brick, you're going to take your brick and place it under your sacrum. So I'm going to place it this end, at the highest end, underneath the sacrum, closer to the tailbone than the lower back, and let my hip rest on it. As I said, if you don't have a brick, you've got to keep your hips up. If those of you who are on a brick, you can let your palms come to the floor. If you're without a brick, then you have to keep pressing your elbows down, keep your hips up. Relax your jaw, relax your face. Feel that your thighs are parallel to each other, and the very top of the thigh you've been working to open is lengthening away from the hip. The sacrum is moving in, particularly those of you without the brick. Stay with your breath. Lengthen from the pubic bone right up to the notch of the throat. And as you exhale from the notch of the throat, all the way down below the navel. Those of you on it without the brick, make sure you keep pressing the back of the arm down to keep the side chest lifted. Press the heels down to keep the hips lifted. If you need to come out, that's fine, just come out slowly. If you're on a brick, you can stay longer because you don't have to work as hard. So it's a good one to work regularly into your practice. It brings that fresh, oxygenated blood straight to the brain. It brings a soothing to the nervous system if practiced regularly. I'll hold you for 5 more breaths. If you need to come out because you don't have a brick, then please do so slowly. If you came out just fine, just let the hip and the spine relax on the floor. chin should be perpendicular to the floor, the throat should stay open. So as a mild inversion, you get lots of benefits to the nervous system, circuitry system. The hormones in the brain get fresh blood. Now slowly take your brick out and place it to the side. Start to lower your hips down first, so upper back starts to come down. Back ribs, lumbar, sacrum, tailbone. Let your knees come together with your feet wide. Let your arms rest on the ground with the palms up. Just pause here. So feel the flesh of the buttock spreading across the sacrum. Relaxing the back ribs, the kidneys towards the floor. And let the knees come apart for a moment. You bring your feet together. Bring your knees gently in towards the ribs. Interlace the fingers. Without pulling with the hands, just let a little bit of pressure come towards you with the legs, so the lower back might be a little sensitive from being in that position. You can stay here and just add a little more pressure. If you feel like lifting the head and the shoulders, you can curl the hairline in and just press down through the lumbar as the knees come in. Keep pressing down firmly to the lumbar to release the back. As you bring the head back down slowly. And one at a time, bring the feet down. Keep the feet together, knees together, and just gently let the knees fall to the right side. And just do a simple, very basic simple twist, keeping the feet on the ground, knees to the right. Inhale the knees back to the center. And then slowly, gently exhale to the left. So you're keeping the knees and feet together, feet on the floor. Just a small, gentle twist to the waist. Inhale back to the center. Exhale slowly to the other side. Just do that a couple more times on each side. Inhaling to center, exhaling to the side. Next time you come back to center, pause. Let the legs straighten out, prepare to rest. Make sure the buttock flesh can relax and separate on the floor, the shoulders the same. And then you're going to finish a little bit like we started. So bring the palms back together, and you're going to bring the base of the thumb to the eyebrow center again. Just dragging down a little bit on the skin of the forehead. So there's a feeling of pulling the skin downwards towards the nose. You pause when you're right in the center of the forehead with the thumb knuckle. Elbows over the armpits. Relax your jaw, relax your tongue. Breath soften, just keep the position of the hands, the pressure of the base of the thumb down on the skin of the forehead. Just a little while longer. And then just real slowly, just start dragging the base of the thumb down towards the nose, to your Hands come away from the face, and then just allow the hands to come down the center line as you separate them and place them either side of your navel. Index fingers lightly touch below it, thumb slightly apart above the knee. Bring your attention back to the forehead as you invite that bright golden sunshine to enter through the center of the forehead, the crown of the head,